Hello there, friends. I guess today is a day of celebration because finally you can, Mr. or Mrs. Western person, move to Russia directly. I know, sounds crazy, but it's finally happened. Now, one important nuance is that this is because of the American village, but not connected to the American village. Let me explain. Some certain important people, when they took note of the American village and some of the complaints of some other Western foreigners who immigrated to Russia, they basically said, well, if you can prove that 100 Westerners want to come to Russia to live permanently, then we can consider changing things. Obviously, 100 people is really not that much from any particular region, but that's the way they saw things. Remember, Russians are pessimistic. And so we flooded them with these scans of passports. Remember, for the American village, I asked for scans or photos of everyone's passport. Well, all those scans and photos did the trick, and they convinced certain powers that be to, on an individual and case-by-case basis, but again, individuals in an individual family unit, and case-by-case basis, help people out who are willing to move to Russia within a few months, as in less than 6. So somewhere in the from 3 days to a 6-month mark or something like that. So, well, probably more than 3 days because they still have to review documents. So anyways, what does this mean? Well, again, going back to the village, this does not either include you in the village or disclude you from the village or have really anything at this point to do super particularly with the village. That's a whole separate entity with its own now separate rules. This is for people who want to move to Russia right now in less than 6 months, okay? So, if you already sent me your passport, fantastic. If you're someone watching this for the first time, send me that scanner photo of your passport. And with the following update, they want to know about, who you are, who you're coming with, be that wife or husband, be that X quantity of children, be it with your cousins. What does your sort of family unit look like? What is your career background? What you can do? Some of your motivations about why you're living to Russia. Essentially, they want a whole biographical dossier about why you want to come here and be here and what you're going to do in Russia in order to survive economically. Okay, so that's what they're looking for. So essentially, this is sort of a moment of triumph. I guess we did it, because even if the American village doesn't take off, which it should, it seems like all the ducks are in a line, as they say. But even if it doesn't, we've at least found one mechanism where people from the West can now attempt to immigrate to Russia without having to get married to a Russian citizen and all that other jazz, and also start the process for the first time from home. Okay, so this is a big deal. This is huge news. I'm actually surprised to even be able to say it. So again, because a lot of times I think I don't communicate quite clearly, let me say this again. This happened because of the American village, but it isn't connected to it in either a good way or a bad way or an indifferent way. It's a separate thing that happened because we were able to gather so many people who in theory want to move to Russia at some point in the near future. If you are coming, if you're willing to come here, planning to come here, and I don't just mean you'd like to, I mean you're going to, because don't waste people's time, because there's a lot of people who want to move here. Don't waste their time. If you are going to move here in less than 6 months, then make sure I have a scanner photograph of all the passports of all the people there. And again, give me this detailed description in written form, be it Microsoft Word or some sort of text document, Open Office, any sort of like text-based format, PDF, just text. Don't worry too much about well, I guess some photographs in a PDF file would definitely make things more convincing. But in general, don't worry too much about all that or going crazy with some sort of video about your life or anything. That's all they asked for. So get me that, and then what's going to happen? I pass it down the line, and the people down the line are then going to talk to you and try to work with you on a case-by-case and individual basis. So I guess the Russian dream is coming true. So get ready, because here it comes. Oh, and one thing I wanted to add just right at the end here is that I've sort of reached a bit of a critical mass where the amount of people who want to apply for the American village has really exceeded my ability to actually deal with all of this. So again, if you really are gonna move here, and I mean it, don't screw with me, don't F with me. If you're really ready to within 6 months or less and you want this help, you're gonna have to hound me for it because there's a huge backload of people who want to apply for the American Village that I just can't seem to find the time to really get around to. I'm gonna do this, but at this point, I'm also kind of looking for, let's just put it this way, help on the bureaucratic side to deal with all this. But so, anyways, this is not mandatory. This is not a part of the process. But I would really, really appreciate for all this effort that I'm doing thus far for nothing. If you would be able to either donate to my Boosty, which should be appearing on the screen here. Boosty is sort of like an international Patreon that tends to work pretty well regardless of what country you're in, regardless of the circumstances. I don't know how they do it. I think it's based somewhere in like Hong Kong or something, and that's how. But anyways, donating to Boosty or donating to crypto would really help out. And of course, the more the merrier. If you want to send me crypto, you'll have to talk to me about that in a sort of separate, in a separate issue, privately. But anyways, guys, just wanted to say that if you are feeling backlogged, the thing you got to do is pester me. Because I will get around to all of this, but it's really hard to do it as one man, especially a man who has to support children. So anyways, Tim Kirby signing out.